how could you do this? Like, everything's happening perfectly, and then all of a sudden you're just doing this to me.
It made me mad because I felt so much anger toward him.
And I just didn't think that what I was doing was hurting anybody.
It happened for a reason.
I'm trying to learn to forgive.
About 4 years ago, I found out about my mother being diagnosed with breast cancer. And so about a year later, she passed away. And it was hard because we just had so many things going on. Our house was getting foreclosed and my dad was moving in and we didn't really know him.
You know, he was never really in our lives, and I just heard crazy stories from my sister and my brother, like how he was an alcoholic and he used to mistreat my mom.
At age 11, I was diagnosed with alopecia. It's an autoimmune deficiency disorder. I woke up one morning and I saw hair on my pillow and more than usual hair in my hairbrush. It was pretty hard to deal with, but the hardest thing was having kids asking me what's wrong with you? Do you have cancer? Is there something wrong with you? Or something like that. And I would not know how to deal with it, and I would hate looking at myself in the mirror every day because I felt wow, I'm really ugly, and why did you do this to me? What happened?
I basically started drugs in 9th grade. I saw my big brothers doing it, and I wanted to know what the whole big deal was of why everyone thought marijuana was cool. So they asked if I wanted to take a hit, and I said sure. And I did it a lot in the summer, but I got caught in the girls' bathroom, and I got kicked out for possession of marijuana, and I had to go to drug classes and court. And at that point, I really disappointed my mom, so I knew I had to change. But I didn't change. It got to the point where I would do it so much that I used to come to church high.
My father, at the time when he really stepped in, I don't know, I felt like he was just a freeloader because he just sort of lived there and he really didn't have a father role. I mean, he used to be an alcoholic.
I'm more understanding, and I know that he's trying to be a father now because he never was. And he started getting back into AA. So I'm learning to accept him like that and move on with life.
And I was clean for about maybe 16 weeks, and it was going really well, and it was about to hit my 17th week. But then at one of the recharges, we went down the street and we smoked a whole blunt, and we came back to recharge. And somebody told Justin, and Justin was really disappointed, and I was a leader at the church, so my position got dropped. And everyone was really disappointed in me, and I was disappointed at myself because, I worked so hard these past 16 weeks, and then I messed it up.
I don't know how to explain it. I was mad and sad at the same time. I felt like I was kind of abandoned, life was really good, and then all of a sudden something happened, and then it was how did this happen? I was going through life perfectly, and then all of a sudden something just happened, and then I'm struck with something that it's really hard to deal with, and I just don't want to deal with it. I just want to kind of stay in a corner and just not live life right now.
To be honest, I really have to say that I didn't really have a relationship with God. I mean, I went to church and I just felt like I went because I had to. And then my dad decided to bring us here, which I didn't really feel like to. I never really liked church, to be honest. But he kept bringing us back every Sunday, trying to make us feel different. And so yeah, we actually started to come here because we wanted to, and we found the light.
One day I was sitting at home, and my mom's friend came over and she prayed with me, and then I just felt this huge lift. I felt full, and I felt pure, and I didn't feel horrible about what was happening. I just felt oh my gosh, a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders, and now I'm finally okay.
We felt like church taught us that resentment wasn't a good thing. We shouldn't have issues towards our parents.
He's really trying to change, and I have to accept that, and I have to forget about the past and move on. He's a new person, so yeah, I learned to forgive.
So one day the sanctuary was open, and I just sat in here for about an hour, and I just felt like this huge Holy Spirit presence in, and I broke down and cried, and I asked for God for forgiveness. And after that, I worked my way back up, and now I'm about 4.5 months clean off of drugs.
God seems to be like healing all the broken pieces of everything. God has shown me that I'm beautiful and that He loves me and that I can just live my life happy with myself.